A ban on assault weapons, as well as overdose prevention sites. As you said, Vermont is a progressive state in a lot of ways. Are you finding a lot of support for these ideas?
Yes, but I want to point out some of those issues. I don't even know why we call them progressive. You know, to expect everybody to have health care and have a living wage. That seems like
you're preaching to the converted. I'm Canadian, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I think of these as normal platforms, not progressive.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
I found something interesting, despite the fact that you said you were not aiming to make history. You did say that your experience has made you more sensitive to marginalized people and marginalized communities, and has really informed the way you think about how you would govern.
Yes, I will tell you, after I transitioned, it's one thing to learn to understand, to know the gender hierarchy. It's another to experience it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you just one example. And I know this kind of is controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. My first week as a woman was the first time a man on the street told me to smile. And of course, it happens all the time. Yeah, so there are many. I have a whole list of things that are just subtle in our culture, just in terms of gender, let alone some of the other biases. And I should tell you, I've only been a woman for 3 years, so I haven't experienced my whole life, but it's been quite an experience to experience those differences.
So tell me, how do you balance that? You've got experience as a CEO. You've just resigned from that position recently. You have lived, as you said, most of your life as a man and 3 years as a woman. Before you transitioned, you were quite conflicted about that. You had told your wife at the time that you were very conflicted about it. How do you carry on a campaign and not let this become central to it?
Well, I also will tell you, that these the Vermonters are going to elect me for what I'm going to do for them. That's absolutely clear. It's about Vermonters don't, that this is not an issue. What the issues for Vermonters are the fact that I do have a long-range plan on how to grow our rural economy. So, it's certainly at the national level, I understand how significant it is.
Right.
But for Vermont, it's not that significant.
Got it. Okay, well then, moving away from that topic entirely, the Cook Political Report rates your race as solid Republican, meaning they suggest that Governor Scott's going to win a second term. His popularity has decreased recently. Does that daunt you?
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, if you look at his trajectory, a few months ago, he was the third most popular governor. Right. Now he's the 13th most unpopular. I always look at these polls as looking in the rearview mirror. Certainly, Vermonters are really upset with how his divisive leadership in the state. And just last night, he went there in terms of adopting the national GOP agenda of using fear. If you look I'm going to lead by hope and aspiration. He's going to lead by fear and division, and it's going to be very clear. Last night he told people, Christine's going to raise your taxes. Christine's going to raise taxes. I never said I was going to raise anybody's taxes. Who wants to raise taxes? That's just not something anybody would want to do. That's clearly the tactic, is to divide Vermonters and drive in fear.
Christina Hallquist, thank you for joining me. Congratulations on your victory. Christina Hallquist is the Democratic nominee for the governor of Vermont. Let's have a look at the board. Less than 30 minutes.